Hello and welcome back to Up the Villa. Welcome to our tactical debrief of a 0-0, Everton 0, Aston Villa 0. So if you are new, make sure you are subscribing, smash that like button. I'm going to need you on this one to help the episode out. Comment your thoughts, more importantly. And you can also hype the episode up, which is a new feature on YouTube as well. So on today's episode, we're going to go in depth, but we're not going to kind of do things that we normally do. We're going to really take a look at the heat maps, and we're going to take a look at how Aston Villa are going to start scoring goals. We're also going to have a look at the passing networks, and we're also going to go to the tactical pad as well. But where we're going to start is we're going to talk about something that I think Unai Emery has learned from Everton 0, Aston Villa 0. And it's a big, big thing, and it's built upon trust. So we're going to go back to the start and we're going to take a look at Villa's lineup against Everton. Now, a lot of us will look at it and go, well, it's defensive. And it doesn't solve our problem yet with being able to score a goal. It's very safe. It's very solid. It lacks a bit of cohesion and a fluidity, and it lacks attacking intent. But I'm going to try and start to think a little bit like Unai Emery when I'm analysing this game. Now, first things first, what would Emery have wanted against Everton off the back of an absolute hammering against Crystal Palace? He would have wanted us to be solid. He would have wanted us to go there, put a real good account of ourselves, and get back to being very solid. Now, Emery's always built his teams upon being quite solid, structured, and having control. And he set us out yesterday with a lineup that would have got most of the things that he wanted to start the game. So how he would want to end the game could be completely different with more attacking players on the pitch, but get yourself a foothold away from home. Now, when we go back to the lineup, this was really interesting where we had John McGinn out on that right-hand side again. Now, he's not out there for his creativity and his pace and his ability to get to the byline. For me, he was in the team to be able to help out and make sure Jack Grealish was looked after in this game and not given the license to be 1v1 at every opportunity and to not have a team where we're exposed. Now, I think Unai Emery learned something big off one player. And this player is our number, let me just find him, our number 29. Now, I'm not sure why he's in the goalkeeper shirt, but he's number 29. And I think it's good to maybe highlight him in a different colour anyway, because that's who we're actually talking about. We'll put Bogard back on as well. And Emery's built his teams, and I think this is why he doesn't throw players in straight away, because he needs to be able to trust his players. Would Emery, against Everton, have fully trusted Guesson to start to be able to track back, nullify, and help out Matty Cash? I think there would have been an unknown there because Emery's not seen Guesson in his system have to do this job. Now, what I actually think Emery has learned from the game against Everton is that when we look at the heat map, I think Emery has learnt a valuable lesson with number 29. And he's learnt the lesson that he can be trusted and he can be relied upon to start out wide on the right and follow the tactical game plan. Now, this is a big, big thing for me because when we're going to start looking at Aston Villa's attack now, we're going to start to find the answers to all of our questions on how we start scoring goals, becoming more proficient in our attacks and prolific, and start to creating opportunities with a fluid nature. Now, as we can see, Guesson number 29, we can see his heat map during this game. Now, if we look at the defensive side of things inside our own half, it is very disciplined, it's very good, and he's present. The slide tackles, the aggression, the fronting up Grealish, the ability to defend and defend well is a massive plus point. As we start venturing into the opposition half, we start to see touches in that mid third. We start to see touches coming inside. We start to see a player on a touch line. And we also start to see a player getting into the 18-yard box and also making up a position outside of the 18-yard box on that side area where he's becoming high. He's getting to virtually to a byline and he's having consistent, consecutive touches. Now, that's important for me because this is where we're going to start to get that width within that right-hand side for Aston Villa. Now, if I go back to the tactical pad and I take out Guesson now and I put John McGinn back in there. Now, when I'm looking at what we were playing like against Everton, this is the makeup of what we were getting into. We'd got Bogard, we'd got McGinn coming inside. Cash was meant to be offering width. Bogard was coming into that area. And this is what our team was sort of looking like, with Cash having to be that width down there. And it's just not quite working. It's not quite working. So when we go and have a look again at the heat maps from the game, and you're going to start to see now the average positions of every single Villa player. So here we've got the average positions on the right-hand side of every Villa player. So we can see Mings defensively dominant inside our own box. We've got Konsa. We've got Bogard screening and making up a back three. So you can see that he's a central midfielder and he's going to that right-hand side. So he's screening Cash when Cash gets forward. We've got width on the opposite side with Digne. Tielemans went off at half-time. We've got Emi Buendia occupying a space on the left. We've got Rodgers central, playing all over. And we've got Ollie Watkins exactly the same. Now, if we go and have a look at Aston Villa's passing network, what we're going to be able to see from our passing network as well is we're going to see a distinct issue with the way in which we are building up, and you're going to start to see an area of our team where we have got a slight issue. And this issue, again, gets solved by having somebody wide on the right. I've spoke about this quite a lot this season. So this is Aston Villa's network. Anybody that is new, the thicker the line means that network is more prominent and it's stronger. There's more passes going to those players. If we actually look, and we're going to split the team in half. If we actually look at Villa's left-hand side, it's actually pretty good. There's triangles with a lot of players. We've got triangles with the defenders. We've got triangles with number 8, Tielemans, Buendia, number 10, Rodgers, number 27, and Ollie Watkins. We've got a network here. We've got networks all over. Now, if we have a look at the opposite side, now we've gone straight down the middle of the pitch. And what you want is you want both sides to have synergy, because that means you're not lopsided and you're not one side heavy. And when we compare it to this side, we've got absolutely nothing. And if you can see, and this is a big problem, and bear in mind, Matty Cash had a really top game defensively. Very, very good. But if we look, Cash into Watkins there's nothing. Cash into Rodgers, there's nothing. Cash into Buendia, nothing. And this cash is our width on the right-hand side. And we are getting nothing into an attacking player. And this is part of the problem. So when I'm talking about Guesson now becoming trusted, because he had to be disciplined. It's not like saying, "Look, come on, he's just in the team. He's got to defend. He's part." Locking down Grealish stops Everton, and we've seen it. He's locked down. He's shut down. He's got no assists. They don't score. So defensively, yes, Cash very good, but going forward with our system, it's vitally important that we start locking this right-hand side and finding a solution. And by Emery being able to trust Guesson, hopefully enables us to be having a player on that right-hand side that he can believe in, he can trust, he can want to start, and we start making progress. It's baby steps, I know, but I'd rather see positives than keep focusing on negatives, etc. So I think I've brought something to the table here about unlocking this right-hand side. Now, if we go and have a look at Everton's, and again, we're going to start to see something quite interesting in here, because when I spotted it, I thought that's tactically quite good from Moyes. So here we've got Everton's. Now, as we can see, Aston Villa's was more intricate. There was more triangles. There was more network. But what you can see from Everton is distance. Distances are bigger between players. So we can see that Grealish is the furthest player forward for Everton. He's the player that's getting thicker touches between these two players with Garner and Dewsbury Hall. So we can spot that a mile off. But also one thing that we've got to notice is Moyes locked down our left-hand side. And how did he lock our left-hand side down? He had O'Brien and Unai. Now, Unai is just as creative for me as Grealish, as Dewsbury Hall. You'd have thought he would have probably been in that area or that area, and maybe Beto was slightly higher there. But he locked down the right-hand side, which meant Villa's outlet going down here was nullified considerably, because Digne won't take a player on. That's not in his game. So again, we can start to see from the Villa picture that if we had a bit more width out here and we had a progressive wing back in Maatsen in here going forward, creating more problems, then we're going to start to offer more of a threat. So those are some of the things that I really spotted and noticed. And if we have a look at the heat maps, especially, you can see that when we go back to the heat maps, especially of Everton, and we can see that Digne's getting quite high, to be honest. He's getting a lot of touches further forward. He's getting to the byline. He's getting touches off corners, etc. And we look here on the opposite side with Jake O'Brien and Unai. Look at where Ndai's heat map is there. Now, that's in his own half. Now, when we compare it to Digne's on the opposite side, you can see that he's trying to really nullify and shut out Villa's left-hand side. So, personally, I think goals are eventually going to come for Villa. And I do think until we get the solution on this right-hand side especially, then the slight issues are going to be there. And thinking about the game against Everton, you got to think we've played 4 games. And in those 4 games, what are the positives? Well, 4 games, 2 of those games we've kept clean sheets. So Villa's defence can actually be quite solid. Yes, we conceded a lot of goals in one of the games. We conceded one and lost to Brentford. So in two of those games, we've been defensively sound. It's about Emery finding the balance of that forward line. And the balance is only going to come when he starts trusting more Guesson, which I think he will now, playing Harvey Elliott for sure, and also playing Sancho. Unpredictability, a player that's able to beat a man, dribble past, drive, use his skill. And until those three players, Marlon looks like he's going to be as a striker, then we need to find this way of getting those players into Aston Villa's team. You know, I thought Cash defensively was really good. I thought the defense was resolute. Not Irabunum. To be fair, Irabunum, I thought he played well, to be honest, and I do think he's bulked up a lot. He looked absolutely massive, and I think another player that came out the game in a real good light for me is Bogard. And again, playing in a position where we've not seen him there loads, but he was slick, defensively covered well, present. And again, we look at his pass map. There's diagonals, there's forward passes, there's not that many backward passes. So comfortable on the ball. He only gave the ball away twice in the whole game. So a player that under Emery being coached looks like he's adapting to the system really well. So it's really pleasing to see him step up and perform. And again, I think I am disappointed that we've not scored again. But I do feel like the goals will start to come. And defensively, I feel okay. And we've got to hope that we can step up and perform on Tuesday. I imagine we'll make changes, but we'll make changes for the better. I think the changes that we can make will make us more attacking. And I think within all of that, you start to unlock Rodgers and Watkins a lot more. I mean, Watkins is just feeding off scraps, but he's hardly touching the ball. But if you can get everything around them better, then they're going to look better themselves as well. It feels like we're just snapping at a lot of things. When Rodgers gets the ball, it's a snap pass quickly. It's got to be inch perfect precision, and sometimes just maybe take your time, take a touch, dribble with it a bit more. So I think that's my general vibe, really. It's not panic stations, because I might be on my own here. I can actually start to see a little glimmer at the end of the tunnel, I think, however difficult that might be for some to feel. But I actually feel like if things start to come together, then I think we're going to be all right. But it's got to be built on trust, and Emery's got to play these players. So those are my thoughts. There's not loads of goals to go through. There's not loads of mistakes to go through. It's just observations, really. And might be a couple of observations that some people might not have been able to spot, really. So, hopefully it's been a little bit insightful. I mean, I just want to quickly just have a little look at some of the underlying numbers. So let's just have a quick look at the duels, because I think duels are quite important against Everton. So 57% for Everton, 43 for Villa, 46 aerials, 54 dribbles, 14% for Villa, 58 for Everton. So that's low for Villa. Passes in the final third, 71% for Villa, long balls, crosses, pretty similar. Tackles 169.70 for Everton. So, like I said yesterday, I feel like it'll be at the end of the season, I think it'll be a good point. I think it'll be a good point. And let's just try and take positive. Martinez was class, absolutely class. So I'm glad he's back. And you know, we're a result away from in the cup away at Southampton, at Sunderland. What? Southampton, Sunderland. And then we go into Bologna, win that, top of the Europa group, then back at Villa Park against Fulham. Things can change in football, and a bit of confidence, couple of goals, we're backfiring. I mean, you've got to take confidence from a clean sheet. So, yeah, I think I'm feeling all right. I'm feeling all right. Maybe not everybody else is feeling all right, but I am. So, they're just my thoughts. So, hopefully you've enjoyed it. 20-minute debrief on a 0-0. It's not bad, is it? So, on your way out, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, hype the episode up, and I will see you on the next one, Up the Villa.